Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from an inmate at Florida Correctional Institution. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
All right, and so thank you all for joining us tonight on Bars Unlocked. We are excited to have you all here tonight. This is a thought-provoking, incarceration-centered podcast where we delve into the world of incarceration through stories, through the journeys, through all of the awesome things and then not so awesome things about the people and their experiences. All experiences are not good. And so we want to just highlight our guests and what they're going through when it was in the place of incarceration. So on tonight, I am Dr. C, the Purpose Resuscitator, your host and sole proprietor. And I have with me our other host, co-host, Keeping It Real Drew, and Holly P, aka Ms. Nelson. So I'm excited for tonight and for the guests that we have on tonight. So how is everybody doing on tonight?
Definitely doing amazing. Doing good, Dr. C. Doing good.
Doing
What's up,
good.
Keeping It Real Drew?
Hey man, it's good. We good. Ready to work.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
guess he's joined us already, and then we'll talk about his introduction. But how are you doing tonight as well? All right, let me see.
You can hear me?
Okay, yes, we can hear you now.
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. Can't complain.
All right. Yes, this has been an awesome day. I was like, did everybody need to see me before the weekend? My day has been so busy today. I was like, oh my God, like I have been able to turn around and then somebody was knocking, somebody was calling, somebody was emailing. I'm like, oh my goodness, this must be a real highlighted weekend because everybody need to get in. Everybody needed something today.
They
So,
need
but I'm
they need
excited.
their purpose resuscitated today.
Oh
Yeah,
Lord, listen, I need to be resuscitated. Listen,
absolutely.
I needed some of that today because I'm like, oh my God. Every time I turned around, somebody was knocking at that door. And most of the time it's because somebody else told somebody to come and see me. So, oh, such and such told me to come see you because you can help me with this. And I'm like, oh, I wish such and such would have called me first.
You know
Right.
such and
Gave you a
such
little
don't
heads
work
up.
like that.
Listen, I had one time, um, somebody called me from Philadelphia. And I was like, okay. And the guy just talking, he was like, yes, I heard you can help me with X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, okay. And I'm half asleep. And I'm like, well, who gave you my number? Because he said, well, this lady, he told me the lady name. I was like, I don't know her. Like, I don't know this lady who you talking about. Then he said, well, he started describing her. I said, I don't know the lady. And then I said, well, find out from her, how did she get my number? Because so when he found out from her, she actually got my number from somebody else. And that person, guess who that person got my number from? So it was through 4 people. Guess who
Oh
that person got my
goodness.
number from?
Woo.
Holly P.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, there goes such and such right here. Such and such on.
That's insane. Dr. C, you know I'm always bragging about what you do in the community, how you can help people go to the, we're going to talk about this offline, okay?
I say, you know what? She gonna promote whatever I got going on.
Definitely. And do. And definitely do. And definitely
I
do.
said, by the time it got back to the, I said, that's who done gave the people my number. Let me tell her to get them the office number so I can screen my call.
Give me the office number, Dr. C, so I know where to send them at, okay? Because they need their purpose resuscitated out here in the streets. But today, Dr. C need to be poured into.
They need them.
All
All right,
right.
so
So absolutely. So I definitely want to everyone to meet our remarkable guest, Joshua Bryant.
Yeah,
Dear Bars Unlocked community, I am delighted to introduce to you our esteemed guest on Bars Unlocked, Stories Behind the Sales. Joshua Bryant, journey is a testament to the power of resilience, determination, and unwavering commitment to building a better future. As Joshua was a juvenile in the juvenile system, Joshua refused to be defined by his past. Instead, he defeated and dedicated himself to rebuilding his life and community and to personal and professional growth. Um, we're honored to have Joshua join us on Bars Unlocked to share his remarkable story of resilience, redemption, and triumph. His journey serves as a powerful reminder that no matter the obstacles we face, with determination and perseverance, we can overcome adversity and achieve our life goals. So I definitely want to introduce Joshua Bryant so he can definitely share a lot
hold,
of his creativity and want to talk about him becoming a patent inventor as well. Okay,
all
so
right,
from the
so hold
ground,
on 1 second, Miss Holly P. Listen,
yes.
because I did this awesome video and I was
Okay.
supposed to play it first. So
Oh,
I
please.
wanted
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, let's back up. Let's back
that was,
up. Bars
it was a
Light, we
beautiful
real.
introduction.
Okay, listen. You're welcome. We're gonna do this thing right because we definitely want to highlight. So, Dr. C, go ahead and run that story on back. It's all good. Show the little clip,
yes.
and I'm gonna pick this thing back up. Rebuilding his life.
All right.
All right.
Listen.
So that was a nice. I love that. I see why we need to do the introduction first. Okay. So as a juvenile, Joshua refused to be defined by his past. Instead, he dedicated himself to rebuilding his life and his community and he committed to his own personal and professional growth. Okay. So I want to talk about as well. I got to mention and highlight that he built this up from the ground up. Now at the age of 25, Joshua stands as a beacon of inspiration and success. Not only is Joshua a successful small business owner, but he's also a patent inventor, okay, showcasing his ingenuity and his creativity. In addition to his entrepreneurship and endeavors, Joshua is devoted and a full-time employee, demonstrating his strong ethic. And as I stated before, with determination and resilience, he's showing us how we can overcome adversity and becomes out successful. So let's talk about it, Joshua.
Yeah, let's talk about it. That was nice.
How does it feel to hear all those amazing things about yourself?
You know, when you're doing things all day, every day, it's real easy to look over what you accomplished. And that just reminded me, like, man, I got a lot going on.
I'm telling you, you are amazing. I was reading some of your story and I just couldn't wait to get you on the show and just, pick your brain because I mean, you're doing amazing things. We really need to hear those stories of how you can go through adversity, go through hard times and come out and still, be brighter, like a diamond, go through the pressures of life and come out to be a diamond on the other end. So we definitely want to hear about that, what
Yeah,
that's been like for you.
yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about it. I'm ready.
So, guys, y'all want to chime in?
Okay, just tell us kind of tell the audience a little bit about your story, you know, how you became to go through the juvenile system and the process. Kind of give us a little bit of background about you and what you did before you encountered your situation to be incarcerated.
Okay, if we go back before I was incarcerated, life was very spontaneous for me. I was very impulsive with my decisions, as most juveniles are. And I wasn't really listening to my parents, as hence that's why I got incarcerated, because I was listening to them. I would never have been in that situation. But yeah, I was really to myself and with what I did, and didn't really care for the consequences. And that led me up to being incarcerated at the age of 17. So at the age of 17, I was incarcerated. I got out when I was like 2 days before I turned 19. And during that time I was in there, I met Miss Carter, and I was really just trying to figure out where I went wrong in there, what I could have did different, how, in my thought process, because I was, like I said, I was really impulsive. So I felt like, I wouldn't think with certain things. I would just do, and it wouldn't be the right things to do. So I took that time to really open up my mind and open up my heart for to give myself a lot of integrity, and just give myself a chance to know that this is not the final days of me. This is just the beginning of a life I'm gonna live. So just going through that was it was a blessing in disguise. I'm not against it. I don't look down upon it, but it was. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't me going through that. Going through all that, meeting the people I've met, and changing my mindset and changing my heart too. I had to change my heart, because that leads to, you change your heart, you change your mind. So it was a big stepping stone in my life, real big. And it was big because I met people that looked at me and seen great into me, and I seen great into myself. If I didn't see myself being better, I would have never believed anybody who was saying that. So it was a very big stepping stone for me, and I'm just grateful for going through it, even though it wasn't the prettiest time of my life. But looking back on it, it was a necessary. Yeah.
Okay, I think we lost you real quick.
The technical difficulties going on.
You hear me? Everything good?
Yeah, we heard everything.
Everything's still good.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was just the whole incarcerated part. There's a lot of challenges in between that.
So what was your experience like? What was your experience like within the facilities, or how was that? Did you stay at one facility? Were you at different ones? Like, what was the experience of?
So I was at two different facilities. My first facility I was at, it was in Miami-Dade County, and then the second one, it was in Duval County. The whole experience, just being incarcerated, it's a challenge. You imagine yourself, you're around other men, other boys that's just, they're not the brightest, they like to pick, annoy you. Nobody's against you. Nobody's really on your side. So it was just challenge after challenge after challenge of me trying to, it's so much negative energy in there that you have to try to stay positive around so much negative. And it's really hard. It's difficult. It's easy to be discouraged in there. It's easy to just give up. It's easier to give up in there than to try to sit there and say, hey, I'm gonna get right. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. It's easy to just to succumb to the environment and start doing what everybody else is doing. So it was a challenge, and I used it as life challenges. I used it as because mind you, I was a juvenile, so I was still in high school. I was still a kid, so I didn't really experience life as an adult. So, but I used those challenges in there to prepare myself for the adult world. Like, if I don't like somebody in here, I can't just go punch them in the face. I have to sit here and relax, think, and how to handle this as an adult, how to handle this respectfully, how to handle this, to to not cause problems beyond that, you know. So every situation in there was it was a challenge. It was a challenge, and I put those challenges to real life challenges. Because like I said, my life wasn't done right there. I knew I would have to get out and live again, but how do I get out and live and not be back in here? That's the challenge. That was a challenge too, because a lot of people, they'll come out and either I have people right now I was locked up with in Duval and in Miami-Dade. They're back in jail or they're dead. And it's like, you
Wow.
have to ask yourself, like, how do I not end up like that? You know,
Right.
it's not like they support you after you come out. You come out, you go right back into the same environment you was in. And so it's really you that have to change. It's not, anything
Right.
around you. It's an inner thing. So I was grateful. I was blessed by God to see that while I was in there. And also have people like, it's crazy, like the guards and certain staff, they'll look at me and they'll be like, you this is not where you belong. And I'll look at
Right.
them, I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know me. But then as I kept hearing it from different people, and that makes you think, like, why is these people don't know me, but every time they see me, they saying, oh, I don't belong in here, I'm better than this. And I'm thinking, is this just talk? Is this just them trying to get in my head, or is this something that is really true? So I just I believed it, and I just started walking in it, and then it's just been blessing me ever since, really.
And I remember, so what he's saying about wondering if people real, I remember sitting at the table with all of them, everybody that was in the class, and he can kind of tell y'all about class and all that. But they were sitting around the table, and so I'm sitting there talking to them, and one of the boys say, "Why do you care so much?" I was like, "Well, why shouldn't you?"
Wow.
And then they all are sitting around like, "Oh yeah, see, we was in the dorm talking about that lady not gonna help us when we get out. That lady not gonna help." And it looked like everybody at the table say, "See, yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing." And I was like, "Well, dang, they don't think I'm gonna care." But that's what happens so many times, is that people come for a moment and it's just, "Oh, I'm gonna come real quick, do what I gotta do because it's my job." And then
Yeah.
you're on your own, you leave. But oh yeah, they challenged me. And they were like, you're not gonna care about us when you leave here. You just here right now for the minute. And to have a conversation in the dorm, like, is this lady gonna stay? Or she
Right.
gonna help us when we get out of here? So from that moment, that made me really make sure that every time I say I'm gonna help somebody, that I do it. So his group challenged me to make sure that I'm accountable to what I say.
That's
Mhm.
amazing.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
True.
That's amazing.
So
That's
Josh,
amazing.
when you got out, you was on the cusp of your 19th birthday. What made you focus on being better, growing business, and just being the man you are becoming today and the man you are today? What what did you focus on to get to where you're at now?
So there was a lot of different things because, like, mind you, I was never into the adult world. I was still in high school. So, but I ended up graduating while I was incarcerated. So
That's
when I
good.
got out, I was just in life. I didn't have school to go to. I didn't really have a job as soon as I got out. But one thing I can say that did help me was Miss Carter. I started my invention process in there. So
Yeah.
in a notebook, just thoughts. And then she helped me get the LLC. So when I got out, I was just really intrigued because she was so motivating me, I'm pushing it. So I was like, I'm out here now. Let me focus on this. I don't know what else to do right now. I could find a job, but I don't really see myself working for somebody forever. I always had that attitude. So I just focused on the invention and really trying to figure out what to do with it, and a whole bunch of things after that it kept me focused on that. Even though, it wasn't like a straight line towards it. I got out and I had old friends. I had old people that wanted me to come back into this lifestyle, coming back into this world, and it wasn't like a straightforward thing. I still had challenges and temptations,
Absolutely.
but I just knew I just didn't want to make the same mistakes or even worse mistakes. So I had to really control myself. I had to really focus on what I wanted to do. And at that time, it was really getting my invention up and pushing it forward. And that was my motivation at that time.
So
Absolutely.
so what was that experience like going through, and not because it was my class, but just going through the experience of you're in a class. Was it really a class you wanted to be in? And then what made you decide to do that invention? Like, you're there, but what really made you want to do that and say, okay, this is something that I think I want to do? Or um so what was that process like? Because it's something new. It might have been something different that you never had while you was at the two facilities. So what was your mindset like to say, okay, yeah, I do want to try this? I don't know. Like, what was that process?
Okay, so just starting off from like when I was in the class. Before the class, but when I even got locked up in general, I kind of wanted to change. It was something I wanted to do, but I just didn't know how to go about it. I didn't
Okay.
have no structure. You know, I got sent books and I could read books all day, but it wasn't. I still was just in the air of like what to do, what can I do, what can I do. So when the class came up, I was interested in it because it was a business class and everything. I'm like, okay, let me go sit down and see what this is about. And then you gave us a notebook. Remember that notebook you gave us? And you said just go in your cell and just jot down something in the notebook. Jot down any ideas you had. Jot down any just anything. So I went in my cell and I was just writing in there. Me and the other students that was in the class, we were just drawing things out, just trying, just thinking of stuff. You know, there's nothing. We just in there bored. There's nothing to do. So I drew something out. It was a very crude image. It wasn't nothing specific, but I went back to the class and I showed Miss Carter. And this is kind of what made it stick. As she was, once she saw it, she was like, she thought it was the best thing in the world. And she was like, "Yo, this is great. This is so good. This is." I'm just looking. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, I guess. And then what she did after that was remember you had brought somebody in to talk to me about that too. You made
The
me meet
mechanical
somebody.
engineer.
Yeah, I met him, and then once he spoke to me too, it was kind of like, it was like, you know what, I like this. I like the support around this. I like the energy around this. This is something I could do. This is something I could push. You know, so that's what that's really how it stuck to me. If it probably wasn't for that, if she probably looked at it and said, "Oh, that's nice," and kind of, I probably would have did the same thing towards it, like, "Oh, it's nothing." But the fact that she saw something in it made me see something in it even more. You know, so
Wow.
that was really how it really stuck to me and
Pushing
helped me
that
find
purpose.
something to get with.
Pushing that purpose.
Yeah, reaching that purpose. Yeah, exactly. That's what I felt like my purpose was. You know, I need to launch this. I need to help this or help somebody use this or something. Because like I said, I didn't know what really to do. I knew I wanted to be better, but I did not know how to go about it, you know, and what to work on. I was thinking real estate or something. Like
Right.
I was thinking, looking, I didn't really know.
So this invention was birthed in such a dark place. So
Mm,
you created this invention while you was incarcerated, correct?
yes.
And
Yeah.
Dr. C had a program within this particular facility, and it was a business class of some sort, right? And you went to it, and you just drew. I'm just visualizing what you're saying. You
Hmm.
didn't even think it was anything to it, but because you came to her and she saw something, it ignited you to the
Yeah.
flame, and you to say, "Hey, well, let me let me see what she's seeing."
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. No, it really was just like that. I'm telling you.
So, what type of invention? I'm sorry because you are a patent inventor. So, what type of invention
Okay.
did you birth in this juvenile facility? I just got to highlight that and continue to say that because so many times, even in dark places, God will shine light and give purpose. So, I had to just shine light on that. Like, you're incarcerated. The people around you is not motivated on
Hmm.
no levels from what you're saying, but you found light within a dark place. Like what is, I want to know about the invention. Like what is it?
It's okay. It's real technical. It's a portable electrical lift gauge that you could attach to any hand truck. So just think about it like think of a dolly, right? Uh, think of so easier for me to show you than that, but think of a dolly and think of A regular hand truck, you can move things around, right?
Okay.
You can move boxes and whatnot. But this is as a product of its own. You can attach it to a hand truck. So you put it on top of the hand truck of the dolly, and you're able to put boxes on top of it, and it'll lift up items for you just by
Wow.
pressing a button. And then you're able to
Okay.
take it off, and you're able to like install it on next to shelves, next to the table, and it will lift things up for you. Just without bending your back or anything, and it lifts up to 1,000 pounds. The prototype I have right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So
so it's very,
oh yeah.
yeah, it's very portable, very maneuverable. It's not a very big thing, but it's very effective in what
Oh,
it could do.
that's amazing.
Yeah. So, and there's nothing really out there that's like that. I did my research. There's electrical hand trucks, but this is not an electrical hand truck. This is a product of its own. It's a portable electrical lift. It can be
Live.
attached to hand trucks, but that's not the only purpose it has. It could be attached. You could attach it to a shelf. It could attach it to a wall where it stays mounted, and whenever you could use a hand truck, throw the boxes on top of that lift, and then it lifts it up to you to the level you want to lift it up to. So it has
That's
So it's
very
amazing.
not
universal.
only for hand trucks, you could use it in any capacity in within the home or at a garage, anywhere where
Yeah.
you need something lifted at.
Yep, exactly. It
So
could be
go to
used in the
Facebook
office.
and check it out, y'all. Like go to Facebook to D-Lift, Lift. So you should be able to see some videos on there. I hate the video couldn't play on tonight, so y'all could actually see it. We had a video to where Josh was actually standing on it, so you will know that it'll lift a lot of pounds. He was standing on it, and it actually lifted him all the way up at
Mhm.
169 pounds.
Yeah.
So it was amazing how that thing lifts you. It can lift 1,000 pounds, so I could have got on that, and it would have lifted me up.
No,
Okay.
it's sturdy.
Okay. Well, as an entrepreneur now, what is your message toward the younger people coming up under you? What would you tell someone that was going through some of the similar things that you were going through, around that same age? What is your message for the young ones?
Well, one thing I could say, or a couple things I could say is, you know, it's not life is not scripted. Like there's no blueprint for this. It's kind of we live and we learn as we go. So the best thing I could say is to take your time and really figure out what you want to do and what you like and dislike, and take your time about the people who's around you, because that could play a big difference on how far you get. Because you could just be around the wrong crowd at the wrong time, and it could mess up your life by influence you to do something you don't want to do or not. So just really slow down. And I feel like a lot of kids or younger people right now, they don't really understand themselves. They don't really understand what they want to do, what they got going on. They kind of go with the crowd, and that could be a bad thing. Even though they might think, hey, no, I don't follow nobody. I'm my own man. I'm my own person. But yeah, but all your friends are doing the same thing that's not benefiting nobody, or if anything, you're influence your friends to not do the good things. So the best thing I could say is take your time and really evaluate yourself and the impact you have on people and the impact people have on you. Because once you start understanding that, you'll start realizing where you need to be and how you need to act. And it's really overlooked at a younger age. But the older I get, the more I start understanding it.
Okay.
So I want to talk about real quick. So I know you had the invention. And so kind of tell the audience, because having an invention and doing that whole process, what are some things that you were able to do once you knew you created this invention? What were some things that you were able to do like right after that, once you got out? Or how did you come about having the actual prototype, different things like that? So what was that process like, of going from just the idea on paper to doing the other process, and what came after? Now I have something tangible. What were some of the things that you were able to do?
Okay, so after I got on, I had just, like I said, it was just a thought, something on paper. I knew I needed more education on this, so I took it up. I took it upon myself to sign up for a business accelerator class, and in that class, they kind of it teach you how to launch a product in a sense. So mind you, I didn't know nothing about inventions or launching. So that's another thing. You have to look for information in the right spots. So I went to that class and I learned a lot. And in a short amount of time, I learned so much that I was able to start networking with some product engineers and whatnot to build my first prototype. I built 3 prototypes, and the first one I built was it was me and my dad. Well, no, the first one I built, I met somebody. He was a product engineer. We made a little just model just to show what it does. It wasn't nowhere near what it looks like now, but then I built another one with me and my dad. We sat there, try to just build it. And then I end up, it's like levels, and then I saved some money because I was working, and I ended up hiring a more professional product engineer where we went and made a blueprint of how it's supposed to work and how could it be better. And then I end up start talking to these manufacturers from China. I'm on like FaceTime with them. It's night over here, daytime over there. They, language barriers kind of not there, but they see what I want to do and they see how I want to do it, and they're getting it done for me. But mind you, this all took time. It was like from the first prototype to the third prototype, it was about like 3 years, so it took time. It took time, and it took me just learning and networking, meeting people who knows more than me and who could do more than me, because I there's no way I could have did all that by myself, like at all. Like I had to work with people to get to where I was at.
So while you were waiting on this invention, real quick, you're waiting on the invention, you're kicking that off. So we know you got other businesses because you Mr. Businessman now. So how did you go from just this invention, now I got to do something else, and then what was that process like of having other businesses, and what are they?
Okay, so right now I have 2 other businesses, a car rental company and then a boat chartering company. But with the invention, it was because I'm not a millionaire yet, so I had to put a lot of money into trying to get these prototypes and these drawings, and just even trying to launch it. It costs money. I don't have like an investor right now, so what made me get into the car rental, where I had gotten to that first before I got into the boat chartering, was because I needed a way to make money by providing a service. I need consistent cash flow, because cash is king. The more cash flow you have, the more you could do. So I needed a way to make money every day that could support the things I wanted to do. So that's when I got into, I was really into business credit. I had an LLC. I learned about business credit. And then in the meantime, while I was working for years, I was just working on my business credit, just building it. I didn't really have a goal on what to do with it. But I just know if I built it, something could happen. I could pull out funding to launch my invention, or I could do something else. So it got to a point where I had good credit, where I could go to one of these dealerships and I could go get a car under my business name. So I got my first car. I got my first 2 cars, and I put them on Turo for just to try it out. But I didn't like Turo, the money I was making off Turo, and I was looking at the business model. I'm like, you know what? I could do this privately. I could do this myself. So that's when I end up migrating to building my own website and having my own rental software where I could do this, and building my own contracts too. Well, I work with attorneys to make sure they're good, but having my own contracts so I could rent these cars out privately and without jeopardizing myself if anything happens with the liability and whatnot. So I had to structure that, and I just launched a boat chartering business. So it took me about like 2.5 years to running that car rental business and understanding it, for me to be comfortable to say, okay, let me start expanding, because I'm in South Florida where, water, I'm surrounded by water. So I'm like, let me expand into something else to make my rental business just a little bit different, I need, because there's so much car rental companies out here, and as an entrepreneur, you have competition. It's competition, and no matter what you're in, so you have to think about how can you be unique in a way. So I was like, let me integrate the boat with the charter. I mean, the boat with the rentals, so I could be more niched and start marketing like that. So that's how I ended up getting into the boats and from the cars, and then from the invention I got into the cars, and then from the cars I got into the boat. So,
Well, listen, y'all out there in Bars Unlocked world, do you all hear this? We have a young man that's 25. He has a patented invention. He has 2 businesses that are successful, and he work a job. So you
yeah,
can't tell me that we can't turn obstacles into opportunities. There's no way for anybody to feel like you cannot turn obstacles into opportunities, because he's doing it. And I'm ready to just go to Miami and get on this boat. Like, I'm ready to
For
get on this
real.
boat. I remember always telling the young people the only thing they owe me is a Diet Coke, but I'm gonna have to get on the boat.
you're welcome
I got to
anytime.
get on the boat.
And a lot of people too, like as younger people, they might think they need a big group. Of course, a team is always better. But with the car rentals and the boat, I kind of manage it by myself right now. This year though, I am looking to get in a lot and hiring my first employee, but I've been doing this all by myself, without some support here and there with like legal issues or more important issues beyond me where I need to hire a professional to help me. But for the most part, it was me just sitting down and really getting into my head and thinking about how to really, entrepreneurship is about solving problems. So a problem came up, I'll solve it, and I'll solve it in such a way it works in my favor. So it was a constant problem come up, I solve it. Problem come up, I solve it, and it was always going to end up being like that, from what I see. But the whole point I'm trying to say is you don't need a big group of people. You don't, if you have friends or something, you don't need to start this with your friends. You could do this all by yourself if you really put your mind to it. You know.
Okay, well, I'm gonna need you to be my consultant. Listen, I'm coming to my mentee to be my consultant, because all that stuff I done tried it all, and I'm just like, I can't, I can't wrap my head around the stuff that's not creative. So like, I'm just have to go to Josh. Like, he gonna become my consultant, you know. Listen, y'all better make y'all an appointment too now.
Look,
Absolutely,
hey,
because
I'm
I
taking notes.
definitely got some inventions. I got some
Already know I
inventions.
got questions.
Listen, I got an invention right now. Look here. After this here, I'ma hit you up.
Yeah, no, hit me up. And even with the car rental, I do car sharing too. So I have like people that'll come to me and they'll be like, hey, I have a car. Can I put on your platform? And I charge a certain percentage, but they making money right now, and just by adding their cars to my platform because I have just the clientele coming through. So like for example, I have one a good friend of mine. He just bought a Nissan and he put on my platform, and literally an hour later I was able to get it rented out, and it's been rented out like over a month now. And he's happy.
Wow.
He's happy. He's making money. I'm making money, and the car is gone. And that's the thing I like. It's like we could work together. We could. I went through all of those slopes, those hard slopes with figuring this out and getting these contracts done, just so y'all could come in and y'all could just get in the game with me. So because we all could make money and eat. That's the thing
Hey,
I'm trying to promote.
I
yeah.
love that.
Look,
It's not
I
just
Drew,
love
a,
that.
keeping it real, Drew. I see your wheels turning. Like,
You see it, you see it. Hey, I'm listening. I'm listening.
yeah. So
So your
Yeah, he got his
platform,
head on straight.
uh,
He's an impressive young man with the things he's done,
I
absolutely.
with the
appreciate it. I
things he's
appreciate
been
it.
through, and where he's at and where he's going. Hey, sky's the limit for him.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So your platform is similar to Turo, right?
In a sense, yeah, yeah. In a sense, you could say like I just looked at that business model and anybody could copy it.
Right.
Yeah, it's
I
just
think that's amazing. So if anybody out there in these social media streets, he says, hey, he got a platform,
Mhm.
Okay, African American Black owned, which we support all business on all our Black and brown brothers and sisters. But it's something where we can highlight someone that comes from our background and went through obstacles and stumbling blocks and still came out, on top. I think that is just so amazing. So I hope somebody out there hears what you're doing and get behind you and really take you where you need to be, because what you're doing is amazing. The whole invention, as a woman that's aging, I'm 44, I'm getting older, I'm 5'4", I'm short. I need something like that in my home. So I want to lift up the shoe boxes and heavy things. I can go in and get that invention that you invented and
Yep.
go ahead and utilize that. I think that's amazing. So we
100%.
don't, that's just an amazing invention altogether.
Yes,
So
sir.
definitely y'all go to Instagram. We have both of his Instagram handles on the bottom of the screen. So definitely go if you are in South Florida, you want to get on a boat, you want a nice ride. Because when I tell you, when I went to Miami to see the last prototype, I'm like, what these nice cars right here? He was like, oh, Miss Carter, I got those with my business credit.
Oh.
I say, I don't even got no cars in my business credit. But they were so nice. Like, he has very nice cars. So definitely, if you are in South Florida and you want a nice ride, and then you want to take you and some friends on a boat or whoever special in your life, definitely reach out to Joshua Bryant on his Instagram handles, and you see them across the bottom of the screen.
That's amazing.
That's
All
good
right.
work.
So the only last thing I want to ask is about how did you like the experience, as far as Shark Tank? Because we know you went to the first round. So what was that experience like for something like that?
The Shark Tank experience was something interesting to me. I was, like I said, that prototype I made it with my dad, and I went there kind of speculating. I didn't really have a goal. I didn't really know how much I wanted to ask for. It was just like I wanted to go try it out. But one thing I can say, Shark Tank is not like a make or break thing for people. I feel like a lot of people, they probably do go to the Shark Tank thinking like, if I don't make it here, it's gonna be over. But like, I didn't get past the first round. But I didn't let that stop me. I didn't sit here and say, I didn't get past the first round, I'm just gonna drop this because there's nothing I'm gonna see. No, I just said, what, Shark Tank, they don't know what they're missing out on. I went and I just went and I made another prototype 10 times better than what I had. So I feel like if I go back now, then they see what I have now, it's going to be a whole different thing. But it was an experience because I seen just how you know, they looked at me, and I feel like they didn't take me serious. So that kind of just put fire in me to really, really, come with something more solid. And that's exactly what I did. But so if I ever do end up going back on Shark Tank, I just know it's going to be a whole different experience.
Awesome,
Wow.
awesome. This
That's
has
That's
been a
awesome.
good.
great interview. And I'm gonna leave on this note as far as the interview. I remember, and just because it's Josh, and just so many interesting stories with Josh. But I remember I walked in the room. I walked in at the facility, and I said, I see three millionaires in this room. Because me, I'm that person that whatever God tell me to say, I'm gonna say it. I said there's three millionaires in this room. And then later I always give out these cards. I give everybody this card. Whatever God tell me to put on the card, I put it on the card. So everybody gets a card from his class through till now. Every class I have, wherever I'm going, everybody get a card. And so I know we were talking when I came, and we had to shoot your video at the library. And I was talking about the 3 millionaire thing. And so what did you tell me that day? I don't know if you remember. When I was like, yeah, I said about it, you brought it up. What did you kind of tell me about me saying that in the room?
Now I remember exactly because I remember that whole situation because I felt like you was talking directly to me, like literally going. She said that. I felt like she looked at me and she was telling me, "Look, you're gonna be a millionaire." Like I don't know why I felt that, but I just felt it so strongly
Confirmation.
that day. Yeah, I felt it so strong.
But what happened when you went to the invention retreat? with
I
the
mentioned
guys that
retreat.
were at the. You remember the retreat? Was it in St. Petersburg? And the guys that end up talking to you.
Oh, with I remember her name. I forgot her name.
Hold on, I think we lost you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We good.
I forgot her name, but I don't remember too much about that retreat though. But I do remember a lot of great people there though, and I think I was the only guy there.
Yeah, you
I'm
was the
sorry.
only one with an
Yeah,
invention, but they were like speakers.
yeah. I'm sorry. I just don't remember exactly what happened. But
I
I
know
do
one of them
remember.
was just saying that, he said you're gonna be a millionaire by, I forgot what age he told you, but one of the guys was like, you're gonna be a millionaire. And then you were the only young person there. It was like a whole bunch of older people,
I
y'all.
don't remember. Yeah.
Trying to
Wow.
still be millionaires.
Joshua, your journey really serves as a powerful reminder that obstacles that we face, that we can really come out, on top. We can really overcome adversity and really make something of our lives in the midst of a dark situation. I
Yeah.
just think it's amazing. I just want to commend you for everything that you're doing, and I'm definitely going to support. I'm definitely going to support.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know,
Absolutely.
now one thing I want to leave off, because for whoever watching, I don't want to make it seem like this was easy doing all this. It was very, very hard, and it was very challenging. I had to grow. I'm still growing. I feel like I'm still evolving and still growing and still learning. So, in a way, always be a student and always learn, and don't give up, because I could have gave up
Absolutely.
so long ago, and I would never have none of this I have right now. And and as I get up higher and higher, it gets harder and harder. So it just requires me to grow even more. So
Yes.
it's not easy, but it's worth it. That's all I can say.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Y'all, how about this episode? Like, what how y'all feeling? Because this was really, really good.
I'm
I am
impressed.
just taken back, first of all, of his age and the things that he has done, and the things that he's continuing to do. It's giving me hope. And even when he said the words that you spoke into his life, Dr. C, it's so important that when we encounter people, that we speak positive words of affirmation. You don't know who life that you're saving in that moment, or who you're encouraging in that moment to want to take an extra step or a leap of faith to become a patent like inventor. Like, that's amazing. I believe he's going to be that multi-millionaire, and I believe that this is just the beginning of his journey. And I do have one thing to ask Joshua.
Mhm.
um since your incarceration, do you find yourself becoming an advocate to other juveniles that are facing challenging backgrounds and situations at home and
Oh
school? Do
yeah.
you find yourself mentoring, talking to them as well?
Yeah, well, I had through Miss Carter, I was able to have a chance to go back to the facility I was at and speak to some of the youth there. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I was that was a great moment. I was able to click with all of them, and I wonder how that group is doing actually. But
Wow.
um, I was had a chance to do that, and even now she talks to me about having a chance to go into some facilities where I stay, and talking to some youth over there. So I'm always open to sharing my experience, because it was someone else sharing their experience that helped me. So if I could do it, I'm gonna do it 100% every time,
Amazing.
every time.
Yes, sir.
So anybody out there, if you want to book Joshua, you can reach out to us, or you can reach out to him on any of his social media handles if you want to book him. When I say he speaks with wisdom, he's very articulate, and I promise you, your young people will gravitate to what he's saying. So if you want to book him, reach out to us, leave a comment when you see this video live, or you can reach out to him on any of his social media handles. Because he will be an awesome speaker for you all. What you got?
Yes,
Keeping it
Absolutely.
sir.
real, Drew.
I'm just like I said before. I want to commend him. He had a hard road. He treads that road. He overcame obstacles. He turned them into the opportunities that you speak about. He's becoming a stronger and stronger man. And that's powerful in our community. That's what we need in our community right now.
Absolutely.
Young
Yeah.
people just like that. Moving toward good things and doing good things in our community, giving back. and you know what I'm saying, and growing in knowledge every day. And you know, I really like to commend him. I'm gonna attach myself to him. That's nephew right there.
That's
So
All
nephew.
right, nephew.
All
that's
right,
nephew
There you
nephew.
right
go.
there.
Look, you unc, and I told him in the beginning, back in the day, I said, no, I'm your second mama. Like, you can't get rid of me now.
And I'm auntie. I'm auntie over here. I'm auntie.
Yeah, yeah, y'all family, trust me. I
All right,
appreciate it.
y'all.
I
This
really
has been
do.
an awesome interview. Awesome interview. Awesome interview. We want to thank Josh for coming on tonight,
Thank you.
just really sharing his story with us. We're going to get into our next episode. You can stay around if you want to. We only have a few minutes left anyway on this tonight, but you can stay around, Josh. We're going to get into our next segment, which is our breaking news. We're going to get into that right now with keeping it real. Drew, he going to talk about what's
Well,
going on
tonight
out here in the news.
tonight, since we had a such a powerful young man, I wanted to speak on you know, hope and having hope in the community. Which in Florida right now, they're looking for leaders just like this young man to, you know, be mentors and toward, you know, the youth right now, and they're real low on people volunteering and stepping up to that plate. So, you know, he just said he was gonna do it. So, you know, maybe, you know, he could get attached to that. But that's something going on right now in the juvenile facilities in Florida right now. So we need to, you know, think about how who we can get in that spot, and maybe some people to speak on you know, encouraging the youth right now, which we really need.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And another thing, this ain't such a positive story, but it need to be said. It's about employees. There's chaos going on in certain facilities across, you know, Florida and Georgia. They're trying to get a hope to it, trying to get a control of it. They need employees, which is keeps coming up. They need more CEOs. They need more people working in the juvenile facilities and in the prisons. And it's such a big shortage. I keep finding things about shortages in facilities right now, which it's affecting the healthcare. It's affecting every aspect of being incarcerated right now, and we really need people to go out and consider being a correctional
Correctional.
officer or some sort of person that's working in the facility, so you could become someone that can encourage the younger people, the older people, and whomever in those facilities right now.
Well, if they hiring a
Absolutely.
warden, I'll go be a warden.
Oh, I know you
But they
will,
not
I can
hiring
s-
any of them.
I can see you, Dr. C, becoming a
I
warden.
can
See, they
see
Oh,
don't
they
it.
they
don't
don't
want
want
me in there. They do
they
not
don't they
You
want
could
don't need
me.
they don't want that positive
It's
light.
you could
nice.
You
turn
know,
it. You
because
could turn it around.
the inmates to be saved, slain, and filled with the Holy Ghost. Every everybody be entrepreneurs when they lead. And listen, they'll be like, this is the first prison in the state of Florida where there's 3,682 entrepreneurs that are coming out. Yes. Okay, to a community near you to fulfill a service, baby. Don't play. Dr. C will go down in the books if they let her be a warden. Trust and
Listen,
believe that.
everything that they using in there to be an invention, they will be a patented inventor.
Exactly. So I don't think they really want that positive reform in there because, honey, this will be global. Everybody will be entrepreneurs. Everybody. Yes.
Entrepreneurs, authors, all of it.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes. Yes. The
All
state
right,
of
so I'm gonna just
purity.
stick with the job I got. Then I'm gonna stick with the job I got. You know, I just help people not go back. So that's what
Right.
Exactly.
I
Not to be a returning citizen. Yeah.
absolutely. So that's been amazing. So the last thing that we have, tonight is our bars of hope. And with our bars of hope, we just want to leave people with an encouraging word. So tonight, Josh has spoke so eloquently tonight and just powerful. So I'm gonna allow you to give us our last encouraging word for all of our listeners out there, not just people that were incarcerated, but even families that may not understand what incarceration really looked like. Because we have family members that they know their family is incarcerated, but they've already given up. They don't think bigger. So I want to see if you would just leave us with a word tonight for the people, just in general.
If I had a word, I guess it would just be like integrity, having good integrity, doing good when nobody's looking. That goes a long way. It went a long way for me. Um, and I feel like it could go a long way for anybody else. When just doing something out of the goodness of your heart and not for a beneficial purpose. So that's my word, integrity.
All
Walk in
right.
integrity. All
Integrity,
right.
y'all. We got to have
Word of the
integrity in
night,
everything.
integrity.
Right. It's what you
Okay.
do when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
exactly, when nobody's looking. Because
It's
when
what you do when
nobody's
nobody's
looking,
looking.
everybody's looking.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Exactly.
This has been so good, y'all.
Absolutely. I enjoyed myself tonight.
I appreciate you guys
Okay.
inviting me on. I really appreciate it. I love talking to all of you guys and girls. But one thing I could do in the light of this, I could put a discount for 30% off on my rentals. Just use the code BARS, and they
Okay.
could get 30% off on any cars I have. So I could
Look
I
at
could
All
that.
do.
right.
So
Listen,
that's
I,
so if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, y'all, we need you to
Exactly.
subscribe.
Right.
Then you go to South Florida, you can get 30% off. Like, we're gonna see if you subscribe now.
yeah.
And you can go
Yeah.
and get your 30%.
and
No,
Joshua,
you don't have to subscribe.
no, let us encourage them to subscribe. That's a little perk. So
Yeah.
I wish I would have knew about this website because I just went on Turo today because I could have put them couple of $100 in your pocket. But
Yeah.
don't worry about it, Josh, because from now on, honey, with my 30% discount, I will be renting from you.
Yes, I'll take good care of you. Trust me.
All right, y'all. As always, this is Bars Unlock. We have had an awesome night. We hope you all will join us for the next episode. And Josh, we invite you back to, you can end up being a
Absolutely.
co-host for the day when
Yeah.
that's up to you. If you want to come back and be a co-host, we would love to
Absolutely.
have you. And so,
Yeah.
y'all, we thank you all out there.
Thank
This is
you.
Bars Unlocked. I am Dr. C, your purpose resuscitator, with my co-host, Keeping It Real Drew, Holly P, aka Miss Nell Tings, and our guest tonight, Joshua Bryant, with the D Lift, and he has several other businesses. So make sure you all reach out to him. Again, this is Bars Unlocked, where every story, even ours, is important. Have a good night.
Good night.
Peace.
Peace.